32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Last week, I exclaimed that everything is bigger in Texas. Well, Talladega would like a word. Live from the Talladega Superspeedway, it's the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, presented by Racing Revolution. I'm your host and producer, Morgan Cook, alongside me, Alex Gagnon, and we are live on V-Speed.
Thrilling time here tonight from Talladega. Super speedway racing and these next-gen cup cars, always a spectacle, always a treat.
We welcome you to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway for round number 9. Start your engines. It is the FIKE Take Flight 250 at Talladega. Exciting race we have in store for sure. After last week's Lone Star heist, Carter Linz locked himself into the postseason at Texas. However, the season has still been the Jeremy Burns Invitational. His points lead with the drop weeks included on your screen ballooned to 35 over a bad luck-stricken Tay McDonald. If he can turn that season around, not have so many DNFs, he very well could battle for this championship. You can see there, Burns, McDonald, Erhardt, Gilbert, Rader are your top 5. Linz with the win last week up to 6th. Orlando down quite a few spots when drop weeks are added. Justice Murphy, Parker Johnston, and Loveland are your top 10.
You can just see how tight it is there between second down to 7th and 8th. I mean, there is only a handful of points separating a lot of the top guys in the field right now in the point standings. And when you have a race as wild as Talladega, I mean, that points table could be completely dunked on its head come next week.
Speaking of Talladega, there's a look at the track map right there. Alex, why don't you tell me about the biggest, baddest speedway on the planet?
I mean, this place is wild for the whole reason of you got 33-degree banking in the corner, 16-degree banking down that front straightaway. I mean, this place is all out all the time. 3 lanes can be very easily managed here at Talladega. You can get away with 4. And this place just creates some of the most incredible super speedway racing you're going to find anywhere, just for the sheer size of it. 2 2/3 miles. I mean, this place is enormous. And these guys are going to have a lot of time to try and set up their high-speed chess match against each other tonight. 94 laps, the scheduled distance here at this 2.66-mile behemoth.
Yeah, this should go pretty quickly. 94 laps, 55 on pit road. 6 tire sets available. I doubt you'll use all of them. 3 green-white checkers. Stage at lap 30. Remember that, Alex. I always forget about the stage. iRacing FIKE setup as always. We're going to go trackside for your pole award winner. Presented by Coastal Financial, and that would be Al Likens. Congratulations, Al. But first, our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. Congratulations to Al Likens on grabbing the pole award here tonight. We'll move on down to our grid. Starting on pole, the aforementioned Al Likens. Alongside him, the 26 of Kyle Diaz. Starting in the second row, Jeremy Burns, the Invitational. Like I said, he is in third. John Fike, he's sponsoring the race tonight. He will start fourth. Fifth will be Tyler Harrison in the 45. Shades of Tyler Reddick, perhaps. And in sixth, Caleb Gilbert in the 54. Seventh, Tay McDonald in the 29. Grant Turner alongside him in the 39. Running at your top 10, Travis Gilbert in the 22. Kevin Orlando Jr. in 10th in the 27.
Getting back in the row 6, Chris Nail in the 88. Daryl Johnson in the 49. Row 7, the 42 of Sam Taylor. And the 19 of Alex Forget-Berube. Matt Robinson in 15th in the 1. Jeff Israel in the 16th spot tonight, rolling off in that number 6 Ford Mustang. Robert Rader rose back there in 17th alongside the 21 of Daniel Holloway. And in row 10, the 66 of Carter Lynn's last week's winner, alongside the 15 of Trevor Keith.
21st with Trevor Erhardt in the 41. Michael Paul will be 22nd. 23rd, James Lovin in the 02. 24th, Michael Bennett in the 14. 25th will be Jacob Zervich. 26th, Jake Williams Sr. 27th, Devin Hudgens. 28th, Joe Goya. 29th, Nick Shell. How about that? And 30th, Christian Bresnock.
And then back from there, Jackson McGeorge there in the 98, 24 of Nick Alves. 33rd, Grant Thorpe, alongside the 23 of Christopher Schaefer. 35th, the 11 of Dustin Reinstedel, and the 43 of Dylan Picklesheimer. Frank Hughes Jr. rolling off in the 61 alongside Parker Johnston. And Justice Murphy and Brandon Richardson.
The rest of the cars on the grid, Peyton Presley, 41st, Chad Lancaster, 42nd. And I'm not sure if they will actually take the grid tonight. I don't know what the cap is for this field, but we're about to find out as we are pacing here. Pace car's just about to make that hard left-hand turn down pit road. It's a bit more gentle one here, I guess you would say, but see the field about to come into frame in the restart zone.
That extended start-finish line making them wait that little extra bit.
And as they roll into the start zone, Al Likens has the field in tow, and we are green. Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, Talladega. Well, Fike tried to lead that lap. He made an aggressive move on the backstretch, but it was Kyle Diaz able to lead lap number 1 of 94 here tonight. Gilbert's up to the point. We're going to see lots of movement, lots of moving and shaking, as they say. Going to see cars going from the front to the back very quickly here tonight. That is just the nature of pack racing at Talladega. All about the runs, the momentum, the lines. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, that is always the name of the game when you've got super speedway racing, especially at Talladega. And in the early going, it's probably just going to be a lot of people trying to figure out where their car runs best and who their car runs the best with. And then once you get past that opening stage, that's when I think you're going to start seeing people get a little more aggressive, keep trying to work their way to the front, climb the ladder if they can. But it's so aero dependent here. Just going out there and wanting to make a pass might be a little easier said than done, as you see the 26 wash up the track a little bit there in front of the 6. And part of the challenge is here trying to pass. You can't usually do it by yourself. You're going to need help no matter where you're going.
We scatter a little bit. That's 5 back on the top. It looks like that's the 89 of Call. It's like maybe the 15 as well of Trevor Keith. Had to lift quite a bit, and Erhardt's jumped to the outside. We are 3 wide mid-pack. This is Talladega.
Yeah, and this is the beautiful part about Talladega is you can run 3 lines to great effect here, and everyone's going to have a decent bit of space to operate.
We're wrecking.
Oh, there's a car on the wall. The 41 collects the 53, and here we go down the start-finish line. A lot of cars involved early on. Less than 3 laps in, the big one strikes early.
You said that they could run 3 wide, and then that happened.
Well, maybe not. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit there on saying that they could run 3 wide, because they got to the tri-oval, and all of a sudden 3 wide was 1 lane too many.
Yeah, you can see the 53 just got to the outside of the 41, wasn't expecting it, and then all of a sudden you got a bunch of cars moving and shaking all over the racetrack and just not a whole lot of room to operate there. But let's see if we can look at it from a blimp cam. Watching the epicenter of this one, which was Robert Rader. They do have a faster pair tonight, so that's good news. So these cars aren't all out of the race because it is only lap 4, and that would be disappointing. But Rader goes to the outside a little bit, and I think he expected the 41 to go high, and the 41 didn't.
Yeah, and I think when the 41 realized that the rest of the line wasn't going down, he thought about maybe going back up. And at that point, the 2 had already disagreed too far on where their lanes were going to be. That's how the contact was created. And everyone behind them just had nowhere to go because both of those cars fished down to the inside lines. And when you're running in a big pack like that, visibility is so limited, as you'll see from the onboard here. And here comes everything unfolding in front of you. You see it start to collect, and if you're in that couple lanes ahead of our onboard shot, I mean, there was absolutely no chance you were getting away from that one.
Yeah, Parker Johnson did a great job of backing it down enough to just avoid getting caught up in the incident, and he did a good job here. He's going to gain some spots out of it for his efforts, and that's wreck avoidance 101. Just back it down, don't get hit from behind, and be in good shape.
Especially at Talladega, that's the most important thing is wreck avoidance at a lot of tracks, might be a bit of a skill, but here it's as much skill as it is luck with how quickly things happen. So you got to make sure your spotter's giving you all the information that he can give you, because that helps you get that slight second of reaction time ahead of that incident. Might be able to get around it. Some cars did there, some cars did not. A lot of cars beat up on pit lane. We're seeing there the 66, the Carter Linz. Last week's winner getting a lot of damage buffed out of that number 66 car.
I bet he's glad he went and was successful in that heist. Yikes, that Keith machine right behind him is in trouble. Now with the faster pair, not so bad. Trevor Keith going to get that thing back moving. But yeah, a lot of cars involved in this. A lot of faster pairs used very early in this race, and that is not a good thing for Talladega. The big one can strike at any moment, and we saw it on lap number 4. I think that was
probably the last place they were expecting to see it happen as well. They got through the toughest part, the opening lap or 2, getting up to speed. Got through that no problem, and they looked like they were just trying to get started settling in, and that's where everything fell apart.
I think they were 3 wide for a total of, from turn 4 to to the tri-oval before we had our first incident.
I'd
So
say entrance to turn 3. That's when I think they went up to create that third line.
a generous
But
one,
either
Mr.
way,
Gagnon is.
still, yeah, less than half a lap. There's no doubt about that. Giving them the benefit of the doubt here feels a little silly when it's, was it corner entry or corner exit before it all came crashing down. But
Yeah, it obviously was not enough time as we are under caution at lap 5. Running order on the left side of your screen. But we'll do a quick run through the field as we like to do here on V-Speed. Your leader at the moment is Kevin Orlando Jr. in the 27. Kyle Diaz in second. Al Likens, that family dollar, number 40. He is in third. Caleb Gilbert is fourth. Jeremy Burns is back to fifth. Jeff Israel Jr. is sixth. Tay McDonald in the 29 is seventh. Gilbert 8th. Grant Turner is 9th, hanging tough there. Alex Forget is in 10th.
Then we got Dustin Reinsettle settling in back in the. Oh, now he's up in the 10th. Gets around there on the caution lap, but Daryl Johnson scored 12th right now. 21 of Daniel Holloway right there in the mix as well, the Candyman.
Things are moving around a lot.
We get to the 14 of Michael Bennett. People fluctuating all over the field here.
We will catch
Michael
the rest
Bennett
of these later.
14th, and that is your first 7 rows as they'll get to the restart. Plenty more cars, though, getting back on track. That fast repair, a huge help to a lot of drivers early on, but they're going to lose that resource that they might desperately need coming down to the wire here, because Talladega and calm finishes are not two things I would put in the same sentence, Morgan.
Yeah, calm races, period. This place is the opposite of calm. It's nerve-wracking. It's Bristol and Talladega, while their track shapes could not be any more different, they give the same kind of vibe. When you're racing it, you're just white knuckle, kind of panicked almost. A lot of stress happening, and it's really interesting how you can take this 2 2/3 mile racetrack and make it feel like a little half-mile bull ring, just with how close you are to everyone, and traffic's always a factor here. We are rolling off of turn 4. Pace car is going to make that abrupt but not terribly sharp turn down off the banking below the double yellow. As we roll through the tri-oval, Kevin Orlando Jr. has control of the field. Get into the restart zone here shortly. See 3 Element X racing cars all lined up on the outside. That might be trouble for the field. Restart zone. Late launch, 27 on the pedal.
Orlando's going to try and lead that bottom lane down here as we get to the ground cam and watch everyone rumble by. Watching that that opening restarts here at Talladega, just there's not a feeling quite like it, just seeing them roar on past you as they get up to speed, knowing that they're not going to have to hit the brake again unless something goes very, very wrong.
Speaking of up to speed, that outside seems to be organized quite well, those 3 Element X drivers. You got Gilbert pushed by Burns, who's got Israel in tow, trying to keep that 9 car up there and attach the 54. Looks like they're going to get the edge off of turn number 4. Top 2 going to clear. It might even lead back to the line.
They certainly might. They will have the edge at the line, and now the 54 of Gilbert gets the lead for the first time here tonight. The question's going to be, will he drop down to defend that inside lane, or is he going to stick with his teammates up high? They got a good run off of turn 2 last time around, and looks like we might be seeing some more of the same as that 9 of Burns punting the 54 out into some fresh air, and now well clear of the 27 of Kevin Orlando.
Yeah, they almost cleared all 3 cars that time. That crew on the outside, those Mustangs, they are rolling. I don't know if they could push any better in iRacing like they can in the real-life NASCAR series. I'm not really sure, but they seem to be doing well on the outside here right now as the top 4, almost 5 on the outside have cleared the bottom. Same thing we saw on the first restart.
Yeah, now I'd imagine those 3 teammates will stick together, but then you start digging a little farther back to Turner or Forget. Will one of them try and drop down to now lead a potentially inside lane push? Although the support for the inside lane quickly dwindling is the leader of that inside group, Orlando, he's fallen all the way back to the back end of the top 10 here. That outside lane absolutely cruising on this restart.
Now this is the nose of Diaz here, and he's doing his best to get behind that 27 and push him back up to the front, but just not really getting the support he needs from Tay McDonald and the rest of the line. They are starting to slowly inch back. They're up beside the 5th place car on the outside. That is Forget.
You see the 26 of Diaz just laying into the back bumper of the 27, trying to will both of them closer to the front of the field, but it's a slow burn right now for that inside line trying to rally on back. That outside group not only dominant right now in maintaining the track position up front, they don't feel super inclined about trying to split up that group they've got working so well at the moment. All of them running that middle lane around this track to great effect. Jumping a little farther back, you can see the 42 trying to run up there in that 3rd lane. I think you may have thought people were going to go with him, but Sam Taylor left out to dry and will have to jump back in line here at the tail end of the top 20.
I think he got moved out there a little bit more than he was hoping, and it was able to bring it back down in front of everyone else safely, I might add. That is your 18th place driver, Sam Taylor. This sounds like a racer, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of names in here that you just hear that and you go, all right, yep, that's a man who's supposed to be driving a race car. That's how I feel with Jeff Israel. That's a name that feels like a racer. Alex Forget, another one that jumps out at me.
Right.
I hear Kevin Orlando, I think pirate, but I think I blame Orlando Bloom and Pirates of the Caribbean for that one.
That is a very good point. It's a very good point. I can't find my pick, but that is Reinstedt is always one that I don't know if she was in this race actually. It's always one that
he is actually currently scored in P12 as they're wrecking across the line.
Oh no.
Second time tonight, the yellow flies on the front straightaway.
Erhardt again.
Someone just inside that top 15 got turned. It was the 41 of Erhardt.
Yeah, for the second time, he went off the nose of somebody. Let's go back and have a look. I missed it, actually. Did miss it. He just tried to avoid it, so something else happened. I think that's Sam Taylor by chance.
It might have been. It was up on that high lane.
Do you see
coming
Taylor
across
all the way out there?
It's next to him. It happens just behind Sam Taylor as they go up the track.
Oh, there it is. It was Devin Hudgens. Was the car that ended up getting sent around. There it is, off the side of the 61. Good job not hitting that inside wall, though. He should be okay to continue.
That was some heavy contact there. And, you know, that front stretch, you know, not historically the most dangerous place at Talladega, especially in the early going, but it's proven to be a bit of a tough spot right now for our drivers in the opening 13 laps. Had the wreck through the tri-oval on lap 3 going into 4, and now just a moment ago at the start-finish line, more contact in that outside lane.
This might
be a little bit of a risk versus reward. You know, that outside lane's been faster so far, but both of the wrecks have come from that outer group. We haven't seen any of that action down low.
I agree with you there, and we might be pitting here. Looks like Caleb Gilbert's going to bring him in. Forget's going to stay out, but everyone else behind him comes in.
A little bit of track position games there for the 19 of Alex Forget, but leaders as they come down pit road, you certainly don't want to be losing any time here with the way these opening 13 laps have gone. You know, it's going to be easier said than done to get that track position.
The thing
Everyone
about
just
this
topping
place,
off on
too,
fuel for the stage.
is that the tires don't really matter here. I mean, I know he's going for the stage win, obviously, in about 15 laps here, but the tires don't matter, so saving a set is not important. If that was the concern, I would just be coming down for fuel, because you can pass with reasonable ease here. Obviously, it takes one mistake from somebody else, and you just hop on the outside and go around them. But this isn't as hard to pass as a place like, say, Vegas, when your tires are equal. So I never liked staying out at a super speedway unless I knew I could make it to my goal, and I'm not convinced the 19 is going to be in a good spot here for the stage.
Unless he's counting on a lot of fuel saved during the caution laps, which, I mean, could be a possibility, but easier said than done. He was not the only car to try and stretch it here on fuel. Looks like he had a couple cars go with him. Bennett, Bresnuk, and Robinson, I think, all stayed out as well.
I am seeing that. Also, they all have pitted at some point in this race. I should mention that. They all pitted, I believe, on that first caution.
Oh, gotcha.
So I think that I think only one driver, Daryl Johnson, might have missed his box. I'm showing that the 49 of Daryl Johnson and Tyler Harrison do not have a time registered in the pit box, so they may, and he doesn't have anything on the screen at all. So that's a bad sign for Tyler Harrison. Timing and scoring says no to the 45, but they have not had a time in the box, so maybe missed on pit road.
You ever try racing a ghost there, Morgan? That might be what's going on with the 45.
Yeah, only in
with,
time
timing
trials.
and scoring. So we've got the 19 out front here as they're about to make their way to the midway point of the opening stage. A couple cautions have slowed down the pace of the early going, but there's certainly been a lot of action up front already, a handful of different leaders. And the 19 will be yet another one once we get back racing under green.
Here we are at the choose. See, that was actually a little closer than probably needed to be. But if you go below the double yellow at the start-finish line, you get the inside. You stay on the racetrack, you get the outside. We've seen this all season. They will continue to do so. It is the cleanest way to determine where you want to start on the restart. Makes it very easy for everyone to tell. No questions.
It'll also be interesting to see, this field now really shaken up with the pit stop and also those couple cars who have stayed out. So a few cars who may not have seen that the clean air off the nose of their car through the opening 15 laps now will be leading a lot of guys who have run up front to this point. Curious to see if those kind of guys like Gilbert, Burns, Diaz, will they sit back and be the pushers, or will they force the issue and try and go up and take the lead for themselves before the end of the stage? Curious to see who plays nice with who over the next 15 laps before the stage break.
My estimation, and this is if I was in the driver's seat and I had just pitted, is I would be content to ride until 5 laps to go in the stage, go up there, try and get your stage points, try and get your stage win, because you can save enough fuel to have a shorter pit stop and cycle out to the lead after the stage, because I imagine we're all coming back down pit road in 15 laps time when the stage ends. That would be what I would do as a driver, and that's what I would be telling my driver if I was a crew chief. So what are your thoughts, Alex?
I think it has a lot of merit to it. There's a reason why I think there's going to be multiple drivers trying that before the end of the stage here. But as this pace car is about to make his way down and off the track, all the time for speculation about to wrap up in short order once they get racing under green again.
Ooh, outside is going to accordion really bad here. Oh, yeah, they're in trouble. They're bouncing off each other. Not even at the restart zone yet. Inside's doing it too. Big issues on the start for most of this field. But Forget is going to lead them into turn number 1. Have a look a little farther back in the field, see how bad this injured a few cars. I'd be concerned if I was some of these drivers farther back. They may lose the draft.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a slow restart for those in the back of the field. There could be some serious issues for those who were starting probably about 25th or so on back. And they got really separated from the group, and you can see there's quite the gap that's
they're
developed
turned.
already.
Oh, we're wrecking on the
boy,
backstretch.
Here they go again. Heavy contact for the 17.
Fike's in it. 61 comes in after.
The 53 of Raider, part of it.
That's probably
Sponsor,
going to
Fike.
end Raiders Day. He's been involved in. That would be a second accident here tonight. But let's see if we can figure out. I saw the 17, I think it was, shoot sideways. That's a very wounded 17. Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened to cause this one.
That was a wreck that I would argue started at the start-finish line and just didn't finish until it made its way into turns 3 and 4.
See, the 23 gets the apron a
all
little
on the
bit.
sorts.
And I think that just kind of scares the guys around him, spooks them a little bit here off the corner. George getting the back of the 17 maybe? Oh, they're checking up. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Big time checkup. And then it actually comes from the outside lane,
Yeah.
but the inside lane was so stacked up that all 4 of them got a piece of it once the 17 got dropped down.
Yeah, McGeorge into the back of the 17 of Goya. And then obviously everyone else piled into it. Sam Taylor, Picklesheimer, and Lynn's all creeping around the racetrack trying to avoid it. That's Talladega. That's exactly how it works here.
Yeah. And, that's just one of those incidents that you see and you just go, well, nothing else you can really chalk that up to beyond it's a super speedway race and sometimes stuff just happens.
And that's exactly
what happened there. It's just a tough break for them, but, it's certainly not what you want to see, but you can't say it's a surprising element of Talladega because it's very much on brand.
exactly how Christopher Bell wrecked out of the race this past Sunday. Same spot and everything. Down the backstretch, the middle lane kind of just stopped their momentum, and a couple cars farther back did not, and all of a sudden, that 20 car was nose first into the outside wall. But we have a fair bit of takers on pit road. No, we don't. That is just cautions. That's all that is. But Grant Thorpe's on pit road in the 28th position, along with Harrison.
It looks like there's a lot of cars trying to get some of that damage repaired. If you have a fast repair, may as well use it because there's a lot of cars that were going to need it if they had one still. Looks like the 10 of John Fike on pit road for what will appear to be a significant amount of time. So tonight's race sponsor, his night might be over before it ever really got going.
He does have a fast.
Number
no,
2,
he
qualified
does have a fast
well.
repair still as well for the 10, so he might be okay. He just will have to use it.
Unless he got towed back.
Yeah, not sure. Maybe he'll come around this time and use it, but he does still have it. And I would say, when you're looking like a Whelen Modified, it is time to use the fast repair. You can see that right front tire is poked all the way out to the right. That is not good for it.
Now, generally, when it comes to the health of your vehicle, the more you can see inside the vehicle, the more you probably should get the fast repair. Got a lot of air, getting really breezy in the cockpit there.
Not only that, I don't think he can run full throttle. He's only pulling 7,600 RPM in 5th gear. That is not going to cut it. He should be up near that 8,200 number. Means he's got motor damage as well. I imagine he'll make that left-hand turn and go use a fast repair.
Let's see. He might bring it down pit road. We'll see. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
definitely the right move for that 10 machine. Yeah, he's in tough shape. Our race sponsor is.
Well, it's going to give him an opportunity to get back in there and have one more go of it. And, we've had 3 incidents so far here tonight, Morgan, and quite a few cars have already had to burn through their fast repair before the stage break. That might have some drivers being a bit more cautious in the second stage, knowing that they don't have something to bail them out if a move doesn't work.
Yeah, I always drove cautiously for the first 80% of the race when I was at a track like Daytona, Talladega, or Atlanta. Just try and keep the fenders on it, as little damage as possible. The 10, 15-second ones don't consider me that much, but And then at the end, go hard. And if you need to use a fast repair with 5 to go, so be it. You still get another shot at it. And that's how I always drove it. And it's been pretty successful. Obviously, a lot of drivers not being able to feel that tonight.
Yeah, it's normally in these super speedway races, you have the opening bit where everyone tries to feel out how things are going to work, and then you have the back half of the race where you go for it. And tonight, we either are going to have that inverted or everyone's just going to go for it, which creates some incredible action for us up here in the booth and those watching at home. But for those on track, I'm sure it must be a little frustrating to constantly have to play dodge the carnage.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a car, or something like that.
Yeah, something, Patches O'Houlihan, something. Yeah, it's there somewhere. Luck of the Irish, though, maybe not on the side of some of these drivers here tonight, as it's already been a expensive day for some of these virtual car owners.
And if you have a chance, go back and watch last night's QSR stream. They were at Kentucky's for some more dodgeball references.
There has been quite a few of them lately.
That's 3 in 2 broadcasts. We are on fire, but these guys are in the restart zone. Resnock on the outside, going to check him up a little bit on the outside lane. Not going to help organization by any stretch, but they are 1 length lead into turn number 1.
Yeah, they got 3 cars on a bit of an island out there. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Resnock tries dropping down if that outside line looks like it's about to swallow him up. You're going to see this run off of turn 2. I think you're going to see a lot of cars fly up to the back bumper of Call. And they go up a little higher to try and block the run. Everyone gets reestablished and will kind of settle back in. Gilbert on the inside line trying to bring them back up to the front. Bresnock trying to lead that outside group that is a little disjointed there through 3 and 4. Michael Call not quite on the back bumper of Turner, and they're doing a little bit of swinging around and getting some good air on the car nose to cool off the engine a bit. But definitely maybe not the best for Aero, as now you see the 89 drop to the inside. Michael Call going to try and lead that inside group back up to the front.
He's going to get a pretty big push here from the 54. It's going to come right there in the center of the corner, and they are even with the leader. Down the backstretch, it's a drag race. Big push by the 54. Equally good push by the 39 on the outside, as we have a great battle into turn number 3. Give the edge to the 89.
Yeah, that was a great push from Gilbert. Just steady and powerful down the backstretch, pushing the 89 up to the front here. 54 nearly was able to get himself clear as well. He's about half a car length up over the double zeros. Now they are both clear. Bresnock trying to hold on to the side of the 19 of Forget. So now the inside line has the advantage in this stint of the race. It seemed like that outside line was going to be the place to be during that one extended bit of green flag racing we had after the first caution. And now it seems like the inside line might be the place to be. It really just depends on how good of a pusher you've got behind you. And while they're getting a little squirrely there, I mean, 54 of Gilbert, one of the more steady pushers we've seen so far in the opening 22 laps.
Oh, they're wrecking
Harrison
again.
Gets shuffled down, and they're wrecking in front of him.
Oh, wow. Fantastic save. Wow.
Incredible.
I think
Caution's
everyone
out, but I don't think
they kept it
anyone's
straight.
damaged.
Oh, my God. That was incredible work. I don't think
Wow.
anyone actually crashed there. Wow. Okay, let's go back and have a look at the 22. I think that's where all this happened, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was sideways in 3 and 4, and somehow he gets out completely pointed forward, no real issues, and everyone else seems to have gotten through that all right as well.
This reminds me of what Kyle Busch did in a Daytona, was it the Bud Shootout, I think it was.
Yeah.
1 year
Yeah,
on the
that was
apron.
a wild save.
Got pushed off of Jeff Gordon's nose in turn number 3 and 4, and then off Tony Stewart's nose in turn 1, and then ended up coming back to win the race. A big checkup on the
Look at
bottom.
that. That's where all that began, because everyone gets so stacked up. Orlando gets forced to the outside of the 1. 22 runs out of space with the 27 there. And, a little bit of, there was a car that brushed the wall there a little bit. A few cars had to take evasive action, but no real heavy carnage there. Everyone, all things considered, getting away relatively unscathed.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive driving by the 22. I want to see what his steering wheel look like. See if we can get that a little bit later. But yeah, good work by Travis Gilbert keeping that car straight. Some more takers on pit road. The 88 of Nail coming down pit road.
All these cautions are creating a lot of different opportunities to try and fuel up and get stocked up before the end of the stage here. And, you know, stage scheduled for lap 30. So not too much time. It'll be a pretty short sprint from whenever they go green to the stage break. So the short green flag runs followed by a yellow will continue at least through past lap 30 with the stage break, and then they might be able to open it up after that.
Michael Call currently your leader. Started in 22nd. Little strategy move and up to the lead. Bresnock is behind him in second, up 28 positions already. Gilbert started up front and hasn't really left the front. Neither has Grant Turner. Forget's up 9 to 5th. Diddle Johnson's right around where he started in 6th. Burns down a few, but he's still running in the 7th position. Israel has moved up to 8th. Likens down to 9th. And Bennett up 14 positions into the 10th spot.
Back behind them, you've got the 26 of Kyle Diaz in 11th. 12th is the one of Matt Robinson. 13th, Kevin Orlando has fallen back just a hair here. He's now scored just ahead of the 21 of Daniel Holloway. 15th, Tay McDonald. Just behind him, Justice Murphy, who's up big time. Started back in 39th, all the way up to 16th now as the 12. Travis Gilbert with that great save. He's now running in the 17th position, just ahead of Nick Alves. Parker Johnson scored in the 19th position, in your last car in the front half of the field here, the 98 of Jackson McGeorge.
Grant Thorpe is going to be running in the 21st position. Not sure that is on the nose, but that is one of the paint schemes of all time, certainly. Chad Lancaster in 20th, in the 20, showing as the 02. I am confused. Shell is in the 58. He's 23rd. Frank Hughes Jr. is 24th. Jake Williams Sr. is 25th. Christopher Schaefer he's 26th. Erhardt 27th. Loveland 28th. Nails now 29th after pitting. Harrison's in 30th. That is Harrison, I promise you. Sirkovich is 31st. Lynn's 32nd. Fike 33rd. Taylor in there as well. They're starting to double up, so it's difficult at this point. But the rest of the cars on the lead lap, Trevor Keefe, Joe Goya, Devin Hudgens, Hickelsheimer, and Ryan Stedetley. Robert Rader is out of this race.
Trying to think, the first time I broadcasted a race with Dustin Reinstedel in it, I don't know what I was thinking, but I could not read that last name to save my life, and no one told me the correct pronunciation for it. So I'm pretty sure I said Reinstelta, like it was German. And then everyone after the race said, yeah, no, absolutely not. You completely whiffed on that one. And lo and behold, they said, yeah, it's Reinstettel. I said, oh, yeah, that is exactly how that's spelled, and I just can't read.
Yeah, Ryan Stedetley. Heard it both ways. Anyway, we're pacing down the backstretch into turn 3. Working lap 25 of this race. A little quick race recap for you. 4 cautions, 10 lead changes already. Stage break in 5 laps. We're going to pay out some points, re-rack them, and see if we can go green for the last 64.
Yeah, this will be the one stage break of the day, so everyone knows it's going to be a bit of a sprint here, an early green-white checkered, where your approach to it has to be a little odd because you want to push to try and get those stage points here, but you also don't want to be pushing too hard like it would be for the end of the race because this is still a long way to go before we reach the end of the FIKE Take Flight 250, and you don't want to put yourself into the wall here before you get to the stage break because there's still a lot of time to get out in front.
But Call will take them down to the restart zone. It's going to launch after the restart zone, in fact, and the outside line just simply did not go. They are checking up pretty bad on the outside. There it is, bumper cars on the top. Oh, they're wrecking again. 51's below the line.
They're all over the place back there. Multiple cars down to the apron.
Yeah, Trevor Keith is also down there, but there's no caution just yet. This is going to really hurt the 51 and the 15. Look at him, he's still below the line. Not sure what's going on there.
Well, back up front, we've got ourselves quite the battle for the lead. You know, you've got those two cars and Call and Forget running the way. Looked like Burns was going to have a good run, and then the outside line just kind of fell apart after that, and he is receiving a monster of a push right now from Holloway.
And this is the best feeling in the world. You just passed 3 of them coming out of 4, and they're going to keep on rolling. See if he can get up to the lead here. He's got 4 laps to do it, 3 laps now as they cross the line before the stage break. But we are one bad push away from disaster.
But isn't that always the case at Talladega? You know, there's only so much you can do that's in your control, and there's so much of it that's out of control with how close you have to run together here. So there could be danger lurking around every corner or every straightaway in tonight's case. But right now, the push is on to try and get those stage points as they make their way through 3 and 4. Burns is now alongside the 19. He might have that run he's looking for to get up the Call here off of 4.
And the top 2 are separated. A little bit off-centered as well, where the 21 is right on the back of the 9. They're going to go to the lead, top side to the point.
He's got 3 wins already this year. He's putting on a good show right now in that outside lane, taking Holloway and Bresnock with him. Curious to see if anyone tries bailing on him here in the closing couple laps, knowing that stage break not too far away.
This is the bubble spot for the stage points. Michael Bennett in 10th position. See him, that 14 machine on the bottom. Slurp Soda's on the hood of that car. Now, the inside has not been great tonight. No matter who's been down there, they just don't seem to have the speed. I don't know if it's check up into the corner and they just can't keep the momentum, but the top side is able to get such a good run out of all these corners that they can get out to a 3 or 4 car lead every time, it seems.
What's really interesting about that is there was the one run where how Michael Call inherited the lead in the first place was he got that inside line to work, and they looked like the dominant group for a second, but now that looks completely to have fallen away as there are 4 cars on the outside lane. Now make it 3 as Gilbert cuts to the bottom. He's now going to become the leader of that inside group, trying to rally his way up to the inside.
They're 3 wide, a little farther back.
Got some takers all the way out. Yeah, they're fanning out here, trying to get a run for every last point they can get as they make their way off of 4, trying to get those stage points.
And there's Parker Johnson in 14th. He might be able to get there as the middle line's kind of checking up a little bit. 13th, 12th right now. He's right around that transfer spot, but we got 1 lap to go in the stage. Gilbert got up to the lead. The inside surged.
Yeah, now the inside, the dominant place to be when that outside lane made the 3rd lane all the way out to the wall.
Oh, 3 wide for second.
Look at everybody shuffling around back there.
We got somebody.
It's about to get real dicey. Michael Call got left behind. 4 wide almost for a second there. Bresnock trying to figure out what lane to go with. He was leading 3 separate lanes for a second there. He's going to get shuffled up high as Forget to his inside. And Gilbert and Burns looking in good shape to take the stage victory.
No move coming from Burns. That's just all points for Element X. They are 3 by 3 by 3 crossing the line, and oh my goodness, stage caution is out as they're just about wrecking. They keep it going the right direction. Your stage winner is Caleb Gilbert off the front bumper of Jeremy Burns.
That was quite the sight there coming to the line. The moment they hit the stripe and the yellow came out, they fanned the 4 almost 5 wide as everyone was trying to start getting it slowed down. And I'm glad to hear everyone got through that okay, because that almost got really dicey going into turn 1.
Yeah, because when that caution comes out, everyone has a little bit different reaction time for when you get off the pedal, how quickly you get off the pedal. Are you full out of it? 100 to 0? Do you roll out of it? Do you get on the brakes? What do you do? And not everyone's on the same page all the time, and you get some wild, darty moves inside, outside, and try to keep it all in one piece.
Yeah, and when you have tracks where you can develop some kind of separation, it's not a huge deal. The problem becomes when you come to a super speedway like Talladega and everyone's running within a half a second of each other. And, you know, that slight little bit of hesitation on getting down on speed could be the difference between ending up perfectly fine or having the guy behind you riding shotgun with you.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Just, yeah, how you... Daytona, Talladega are just such different kind of racetracks that everything is different here. Like, they're so big, but you run so close together, you go so fast, things happen so quickly. You never really know what to expect at this place.
You really don't. That's what makes it so fun, but also so difficult to actually pick up the victory here. And I mean, you can just see the scope of this place. Absolutely massive. So Element X off to a banner start here this evening, getting through that string of yellow flags, and they took the top few spots there of the stage break, and looks like we got some action coming down pit road.
Yeah, I think the whole field's coming down. This is the last guaranteed time you're going to hit pit road. Last guaranteed time the caution's going to come out. Might as well go get your 4 tires and your fuel. Maybe even just fuel. Maybe 2 tires. I guess we'll find out here shortly. It's like 21 missed his stall.
Yeah, he just rolled right on through, so he'll technically win the race off of pit road, but I don't think he really wanted to in that capacity. No service done on that car. Gilbert and Burns, and then Israel off, and then gets a little more shuffled up from there as we more contact on
That's
pit road.
FIKE. Yeah.
Looks like FIKE was trying to get to his box, bounced off of somebody, wasn't actually able to get his car into his box, so multiple cars having trouble getting down to their pit stall.
That will not help the effort of John FIKE here tonight. I believe he has used the fast repair already, so any damage incurred here on out, he's going to have to sit on pit road and repair. And you can see the left front is pretty damaged. Definitely a bit of a separation there. You can see the scrape above the tire. That is not good for aero. Splitter might be bent up a little bit too. Bad news for the 10.
It's been a frustrating night for our sponsor driver tonight, and John FIKE just has not had any kind of luck out there. And you know, Talladega giveth and taketh away, and it just keeps taking from the 10. I feel like.
And some days are just like that at super speedways. You just cannot catch a break. No matter what happens, it's always the wrong thing. I've been on both sides at these kind of racetracks where you have a bad day and you just can never get out of your own way, or you have a great day and nothing can possibly go wrong ever. And then the next time you come back, it is the worst experience of your life. That's just racing, and specifically on super speedways.
Yeah, it can be a very uplifting or humbling experience depending on what the racing gods decide for you that day. But, you know, I suppose in good news, the 21 will have inherited the lead, and he will be coming down pit road. I was curious to see if he was going to stay out. So the 21 does come down pit road since he missed the box last time around. He's not the only car. I think that might be the 84 of Devin Hudges coming down there with him.
I would say you are correct on that. There's the 84. FIKE and Diaz also hit pit road, as well as Erhardt, who has also had a awful night tonight. Ryan Stedel, Sam Taylor, a lot of the back part of the field. That's Tate McDonald, I believe, back there, and Gilbert. They're all on pit road as well. Just topping off, there's really no harm in, coming down pit road, topping off. If you're already behind the 20s, you might as well do so, and these drivers are going to do.
Yeah, for sure. So looking up front then, on that outside lane, we see a couple cars that look familiar. On the inside lane, though, maybe a new challenger up to the front there in the 61 machine.
That is Frank Hughes Jr. Started 37th up to 2nd. Fuel only on the stop.
Quite the run tonight for Hughes.
Yeah, clearly had a great stop, worked his way all the way up here, and we're going to see what the 61 has in store. He's caught up in a wreck or two earlier, in fact. Used the fast repair already. We'll see what Frank can do here tonight.
And he'll have the 39 of Turner and the 19 of Forget on his back bumper pushing. And they're going to really need to get dialed in on this restart because they've got 3 teammates to contend with on that outside lane in Gilbert, Burns, and Israel.
I'm pretty impressed. 34 laps in, we've seen the same 7 or 8 cars up at the front kind of all night. Obviously, those 3 Element X drivers on the outside. Gilbert, Burns, and Israel. We've seen Turner up here and Forget. Call's led some laps, and Turner's been good. Sorry, Bennett's been good, is what I meant to say. Just surprised by this Frank Hughes Jr. car. We'll see if they keep him up here, if he gets shuffled out. But also the rest of the field. I mean, this is a track where it's reasonably easy to pass that, but track position proving to be a bit more important than I think we all expected tonight.
Yeah, there's been a lot of shuffling through the yellows, but not necessarily on track. Those who have had it dialed in seem to consistently be dialed in, and we'll see if that's the case here again on this restart, as they're just about to go racing once again.
Gilbert's got the field in hand. Into the restart zone, launches. Outside line gets away first.
Those 3 Element Xers are just so dialed in.
Yeah, I think they've done this before.
Certainly seems like it is a big slide out of the 39 of Turner. Nearly had him completely lose the back bumper of Hughes. They'll get it redialed in, but Gilbert and Burns opened up almost an unhealthy distance there for the rest of the field. They're going to be coming to him with a vengeance here through 3 and 4.
And it's going to all compress on the nose of the 6 and the 8 and the 89. Looks like it's going to work out okay for everyone. As the 61 has a good chance at leading this lap. Looks like he's going to get there.
That he will. So, new leader here tonight from Talladega as you see them roar on by. 61 of Hughes. It's his first lap led, up 36 places from where he qualified. Frank Hughes Jr. absolutely dialed in right now, and he's got the 39 of Turner giving him a big push back there as they continue to wiggle down the backstretch. Everyone trying to sort out who's the push and where.
And here is your second place driver. You can just see the focus that he has in his eyes. I mean, he's also driving on a Formula wheel at Talladega, so that's just something to take note of right there. Is not everyone's got the big oval wheel, so that must be a lot more difficult than normal.
Honestly, Grant Turner looked at Talladega and said, "You don't frighten me. I'm going to run this track on hard mode."
And he's doing a great job of it, running in the second position. One car all the way on the outside. Can't tell who that is.
Might be the 22 potentially, Travis Wilbur, who he's had an interesting night so far. Actually, it might have been the 23 of Christian Schaefer.
One off, it was the 23.
You know, counting got me so close. But
Counting's hard.
Not quite all the way.
Counting's hard. Yeah, definitely.
Something that has long been established here in V-Speed booths over the past few months is counting, difficult trait to pick up.
Counting and math are things that we seem to struggle with up here. That's okay.
But what we do know is at least we can count that these 3 cars up front in control on the inside lane. Not something we've said too often tonight with Hughes, Turner, and Forget. And then it gets a little dicier back behind them when you start getting to Bennett and Caleb Gilbert. You see someone get shuffled way out of line. I think that was the one of Robinson.
That is not the first time he has been below the double yellow on the backstretch. He got shuffled out on an earlier incident all the way down, and that ended up causing that crash on the backstretch. Was him getting sent below the line, coming back up, and not giving enough space. I think that was one where the 22 was able to save it into turn number 3.
Absolutely was, yeah, because it was forcing the 27 into a weird spot, and that's how the 22 ended up sideways. But going on to lap 39 with this 94-lap race, and up front, Frank Hughes Jr. taking care of business, that inside line in control, but Parker Johnston going to try and make something happen on this outside lane. He's been slowly but surely working his way up to the front as well. Just as much of a war path to the front as Hughes.
You can see the RPMs pegged at that 8,700 number and hitting the red line. They're working it on the outside. You can almost see his hands. The gyro's obviously not helping with this 33 degrees of banking, but sawing on the wheel back and forth, trying to keep the air at bay. It's a lot easier to think about it than it is to actually do it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And it looks like we have a couple takers for a secret third line that's developing deeper into the field. Only 2 cars at the moment. You see both the 40 and the 43 are pole sitter. Likens trying to get that outside lane to work. Looks like they're going to get a little bit of help. A few more cars jumping in there. See Schaefer out in the back. See the 49 trying to go with them. But they are not really making a ton of progress to the front yet, but there's still plenty of time as they're trying to get that outside group to work.
23 is going to join and make it 4 cars on the top side. And I wouldn't be surprised if that oh, there we go. There's Harrison. Going to block it a little bit, kill the momentum, a la Ty Gibbs. See if the 88 will jump up in front of the 49 and make it 5. But it's a little early to go to the front like this because we are going to have a brief pit stop, I would think.
Yeah, I wonder if they're just looking at it as, trying to pit from the lead will give you a little more time to work with than trying to pit from, 21st or so. But also, they would have to get down multiple lanes of traffic, so I don't know if it's really a concern that they have at the moment. They might just be trying to get to the track position, and they'll deal with getting down to the bottom at a later point. You see a few more cars shuffling around. I saw Erhardt shuffle down to that bottom lane there. And looking like some action up front. Here comes Johnston trying to take the lead away from Hughes.
Outside line, middle line, I should say, is going to take it. And that 49 is creeping up very slowly on the top side. We might have a battle for the lead here right away. He got a big run down the front stretch.
Whoa, look at him go. Johnson gonna fly up there. Gonna challenge Johnston for the lead now. 48 and 49, middle and outside lanes. And separated by 1 lane and 1 letter.
We got something going on here. We are 3 wide down the back. Huge run on the top. I am shocked how fast they got through the tri-oval. 23 all the way to the bottom. We're going to see some movers and shakers here right away.
Schaefer. Yeah, this is people are starting to get a little more aggressive with their moves here. Here, see if this outside group tries to drop down to block the middle. Likens takes some of the air off the nose of the 48. He's going to hold up their momentum, and they'll slide in there to take control
26
of that
going to make it 4
lane.
wide here for about 4th
Whoa,
place.
here comes Diaz flying down the front stretch. Everyone said, forget saving. It's time to move.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought go time was 50 laps to the finish, but hey, I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. These guys are rolling, and they're slicing and dicing up the track, down the track, pushing hard. This is really something. We got some new players up at the front. Obviously, just about turned to 23.
Big slide. One of the things I was hearing from some radio chatter as all of that was developing a couple laps ago, pretty sure it was the crew of the 39 that got on the radio and just said, well, it was fun while it lasted, while he was pushing Hughes up to the lead there, and then everyone came flying back on that outside lane. So I think he realizes there might be a bit of traffic to try and circumnavigate now.
Yeah, we are 3 wide on the 3rd row back, and now we're going to be 3 wide for the entire field. It's down the backstretch.
Someone bailed out.
They are 3 by 3, and there's nowhere to go. You can't go high.
I don't blame
can't go low.
41 of Erhardt, who said, I will try this again later.
Who's already burned a fast repair, too. You got to remember that. If you've already burned a fast repair, like FIKE, for example, you best not be up in this mess, because this is not going to end well for you.
And the match is going to end for a lot of drivers as they're going to try and sort out 3 by 3 for about 50 more laps. Diaz trying to roll that outside here around Johnson, who's got absolutely no help. He gets shuffled down low. Now it's Diaz to the point. Tay McDonald and Travis Gilbert pushing him forward.
And the 49, you can see him on both sides. He's got Likens trying to help him in the middle lane, but it's not going to be enough. 23's going to help from the front, and that kind of takes up the bottom lane, so we might be down to just about 2 wide. 61 still trying to work the bottom, but we're creeping into the Dale Jr. line, right around the top side. The riding line, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, Diaz getting it to work to great effect here. Not even daring to try and go down in the tri-oval. He'll stay right up to that outside wall. Diaz, McDonald, Gilbert, Hudgens, and Nail, your top 5, all of them clear of any sort of traffic from a different lane. You don't start getting 2x2 again until back in 7th and 8th. So this outside lane gets a little squirrely through 1 and 2, but they're the fastest way around there. I think Israel actually clipped the wall off of 2.
I should add, 4 laps ago, Tay McDonald was in the 30s. He hopped on the top side and just rolled to the front. He's currently sitting in the 2nd position. Very much like Daytona earlier this year, where he ended up crossing the line in 1st, was DQ'd for a mid-race penalty. He's hoping to redeem himself and get that W tonight, lock himself into the playoffs. He is 2nd in points with the drop weeks currently counted.
Missing out on Daytona would make a win at Talladega that much sweeter for Tay McDonald, but there's a whole host of drivers in that mix who are all looking for their first victories of the season. And Talladega could be the requiem, or not the requiem, I was going to say the medicine, and I don't know why I thought of requiem. The medicine for their ailment there of not finding victory lane yet this season. And, we're about at this halfway point of this race, Morgan, and we're pretty deep into this run from the stage. Longest green flag run of the day, nearly 18 laps when they hit the line. How much longer do you think they're going to push it before they think about trying to come down pit road?
I think we'll double this stage. We're about 14 laps into it. I imagine another 14 would probably get you pretty close to pitting. We'll find that out here the next few laps. But yeah, we are still 3 wide. Dyson, slicing. We're back here riding on with the 61, who is in 20th, was just up in the top 5. As they've moved down to the bottom now, the top side was not the place to be. Chris Nail's making a move in 5th.
Yeah, they're going to try and get around some lap traffic in a second here. That's why everyone jumped down to the double yellow. Harrison going to push Chris Nail in that middle lane. Schaefer going to have to dive back in so they can get around lap traffic up on the high side. That's the 00, I believe, of Bresnak.
98 of McGeorge, the teammate.
McGeorge.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Understandable.
So that was,
exactly the same scheme.
So the 98 going to shuffle on by, and everyone else a little deeper in the field going to try and get it sorted out. The 19 of Forget restarted in 5th a moment ago. He is well outside the top 10 now. And you can see what it looks like when you're running back outside the top 20. Just the absolute avalanche of cars you're going to have to try and pass here at some point on board with the 18 of Jacob Sirkovich. And I mean, you can see, especially when they hit the corner, it just seems like an absolute eternity between where the leaders are right now and where you're at as far as traffic to try and get through.
The good news about running right here is you can hear him. He's not full throttle all the way around. He's feathering it, he's pedaling it, whatever you want to call it, just trying to save a little bit of gas, probably running about half throttle. And that'll get you an extra 2 to 3 laps here. And what you're trying to do is one of 2 things. You want to either set yourself up to pit early with a group or pit late with a group. Either way, if you're able to come out of pit road single file and be able to just merge back on the racetrack and drive in a single file line, you probably will gain time on the rest of the drivers who pit. You have to make up this gap. Everyone's single file except for the 02/20. Numbers are backwards on the timing and scoring of Lancaster. And the 23
is Schaefer going to try and poke his head out there as well. Don't know if anyone's going to go with them, but you were talking about pit stops a second ago, and I think the most important thing you emphasized was whether you're in the early part of the cycle or the late part of it, you got to come down with a group. If you come down by yourself, you're not going to have any drafting help, and you're going to get absolutely run over by those cars that are all bunched up whenever they make their stops. So a lot of coordination that's going to happen here as you see them absolutely roar down that bottom lane as everyone has single filed out for the most part. Lancaster and Schaefer trying to get a second line to work, but to little effect right now. Chris Nail out the front of this thing. Tyler Harrison in second, just ahead of Diaz, McDonald, and Gilbert.
And there is a very relaxed Tyler Harrison. I'd put his name up on the screen, but I guess he just doesn't have one. I'm not sure what to tell you. ATVO. Didn't take his medicine this morning. But there is Tyler Harrison running in second. Doing all that communicating,
really,
trying to figure out when to pit.
Yeah, he seemed really relaxed, to your point there. Sitting back, he doesn't have any pressure really. He doesn't think Diaz is going to try and step out and get around him. So in P2 right now for the 45 and running well.
This single file around the bottom, save for the 23, of course, makes me feel like pit stops are a lot sooner maybe than I originally thought. I don't actually know the fuel
I think
mileage
they're coming
number.
down this by. I think I'm hearing on the radio a lot of cars coming down pit road this time around.
Yeah, 20 laps seems early, but you're absolutely right. We got a bunch of cars, bunch of takers here. 51, I think, is going to be the first one. One of the first ones, the 40 of Likens. But yeah, there's 4 or 5 cars on the pit lane. Make that 8 or so.
It's a pretty big group that's kicked off this pit cycle, and does that start putting pressure on the rest of the field to do the same? That will be the question. It also really spread out this this single file line. A lot more drivers on the radio now calling that they're going to be coming down pit road this time by. I think drivers like Fike, Bresnock, Forget, Murphy, I think they're all about to come down off of 4 here, so we're going to see another big group.
Yeah, the leaders are down. Looks like most of the field here coming down pit road.
Oh, somebody got kicked out of line.
Yeah,
That was a
Turner's out
24.
here just making moves. I think he passed 6 cars going to pit road.
That was basically the
They're
entire
wrecking, trying to
field.
get to their pit boxes. Oh, man.
Oh, man. They really had about all
Oh, they're
30
still
cars come down.
wrecking.
Once more contact. Diaz gets driven to the pit wall.
And he missed his box as well. No, he didn't. He's
No, he was the
second last car on the pit box there, but that caused a lot of damage to a lot of cars.
And now everyone's going to peel off and repeat the process here. 3 wide leaving pit lane. What a mess. 4 wide in some places.
This is
They're
absolutely
going to
a
have to get this
mess.
sorted out for the draft. That group that came down first, they might be able to get the advantage and get the run just by the nature of not having to contend with all that.
Yeah, here they are coming. They actually didn't have a good stop either. They're pretty separated. You can see 3 cars up ahead. Then there's this group of 2. Yeah, they did not have a good stop. This first group to pit. I don't think they're going to be much of an issue here for the leaders, as Gilbert's already entering turn 3.
So Travis Gilbert inherits the lead. Tay McDonald, Chris Nail, your top 3.
Oh, somebody
A
stopped
car
on-
stopped down below turns 3 and 4.
Is that the 23? It is the 23. I think he's out of gas. He tried to push it 1 lap too long, and this is going to be disaster for him. This might be end of the race for him if he's unable to keep it moving, but shouldn't be a caution as he's underneath the line. Let's stop by iRacing anyway. Bad break for the 23.
Yeah, it's devastating for Schaefer. He had been running up in that front group a good bit of tonight. He was making some moves happen, but not to be tonight for the 23. And you can see off the nose of Forget back in 6th. They're wheeling up now to Gilbert with a high rate of closing speed. Going to tuck right in behind the 54. And this lead group, more or less, all put back together. About, say, 18 cars or so, or make it 14, that are all kind of in this group here. 15 cars in this group, and then it's a big gap back to the next group of cars in the field. But Travis Gilbert, the big winner of the pit cycle, will inherit the lead.
Oh, Diaz is still being a pinball out here. Oh, they're wrecking on the front
Oh,
stretch.
they're wrecking. Diaz, Orlando, I think
No
Lankster
caution.
in there as well. No caution. There's got to be something. They were definitely in the racing line.
They didn't stop on the racing line though,
We
and Reinstedt's
stay
only
green.
slow, so that is no caution for these guys. Tough break. This is the mid-20s. Oh, there's Diaz. Big time wrecking up
Diaz
top.
binned it into the wall. Certainly, yep, now
There
the
it
yellow
is.
flag is out.
There it is. Yeah, Diaz has had a rough last, say, 5 laps or so.
Kyle Diaz, heavy contact there. He was trying to get this thing back up the speed. And when he merges back on track, something just gets loose on him and snaps, and up into the outside wall he goes.
Yeah, at that point on the apron, that's where the seam is, the transition from flat to that mid-banking, not quite 33, but probably about 20 degrees. And he just caught it wrong, and all of a sudden he was obviously into the fence, and that's not good for the nose. We only pitted
I don't think being
4
in the
laps
fence is good for a lot of things, but especially for the nose of the car in a head-on collision.
Yes, you're right about that. Not a lot of crumple zone, and not that you would want that. Anyway, you just don't want to hit anything. That's part of the goal. But they just pitted 4 laps ago. I don't imagine we'll be coming down pit road. So we'll find out.
This will be a bit of a good break here for the 23 of Schaefer. You know, it kind of restacks the field. He won't be on the lead lap, but, you know, he's on pit road and it's going to kill some time, get him back on track a little earlier than he may have anticipated initially.
He is still 4 down. We are pitting this time. Everyone's going to bring it down.
Whoa. Everyone's going to maybe top off to try and force it to the end.
I think if you have the opportunity, you have to come down pit road and just get that fuel like you said. I think that's just the only way that you're going to ensure, at least make yourself feel a little bit better about making it to the end of this race. So you don't want to run out like the 23 did. That's 4 laps he went down by being stopped on the inside. And surprised that was in contact with Likens.
They continue to run 3-4 wide off of pit road. It's a wide exit, and you're able to do it, but got to imagine it gets some of these drivers a little jumpy, knowing that you're in thicker traffic trying to leave pit road at 55 or 65 miles an hour than you are going 190 through the corners here.
Right, I agree with you there. And with the way that the clipping works, sometimes you could not appear like you're inside somebody's car, and then all of a sudden you get spun off the nose because iRacing rejects you out of their vehicle. It's a weird thing, especially when you're on top of each other like that. But Dave McDonald ends up winning the race off of pit road. He will resume the lead when we get to the restart. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. You've been watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution live on V-Speed. We'll be right back.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count after 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Slack.
Slack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
We are back here on V-Speed, Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series at Talladega. The FIKE Take Flight 250. I can almost see my house from here.
If you could see your house from Talladega, I tell you what, you would have some impressive binoculars.
Yes, used to be an Air Force base, obviously decommissioned as they run race cars there now. A lot like Sebring, actually, now that just comes to mind, but do a quick run through our top 10. See them on the ticker. Tay McDonald right now is your leader. Alex Forget on the inside lane is second. Travis Gilbert and Caleb Gilbert Tyler Harrison, who has no name, Justice Murphy, Chris Nail.
The Phantom.
He is the Phantom. New nickname. There you go. Use it. Nick Alves. We haven't talked about a lot tonight. He's been 32nd is where he started. Kind of been running in the back most of this race, but he's doing a good job up here in 8th. Michael Colbin up at the front most of the race. Jeremy Burns is in 10th. That is the top 10 at this point in the race. Biggest mover. Well, we actually just flagged over him. That would be Justice Murphy. Up 33 positions, 39th to 6th.
He's had one heck of a run so far tonight, and not done yet. He's put himself in the best position he's been in all night. Can he make something happen now that he's worked his way through the whole field?
He's got 34 laps to prove that he's got 5 more spots to go get. We'll see if the 12 can do it, but for right now, Tay McDonald's leading the outside lane. Gilbert behind him. Forget and the other Gilbert behind him. They're going to push off here. Off the restart zone into turn 1. Great restart on the top side.
Well, for the first 2 cars, then it gets pretty big space there back to the 45. So McDonald and Travis Gilbert will get a nice, good run into 1 and 2. But now here comes Forget on the inside. He's got a lot more put together help with the 54 as well as the 12 behind them. It's going to be side by side, I think, down the backstretch here.
Yeah, the 19 got to the quarter of the 29. Not sure if they'll be able to. There we are, side by side now into turn number 3. 3 wide in the back again.
Yeah, let's say Johnson trying that 3rd lane again with our pole sitter. Al Likens, they are both trying to get that high side to work like it did a few laps ago. Will they be able to is the question. They caught lightning in a bottle once. Will it happen again?
The inside is checking up a little bit. You can see that the middle lane is now the preferred lane, it looks like. Oh, almost 4. We are 4 wide now. Oh, 48's turned into the wall. Hesitation. This is the second big one.
Going to collect a lot of them.
Oh, they're coming down in front of traffic. Oh, no. Israel thought he was clear, and they chopped his nose. Oh, man. I saw what caused this. Well, let's go back. Let's get an onboard here from the 6. And this will give you a pretty good idea of how hard it is to avoid accidents at Talladega. You can see there's a big hole right there. He's going to make it. Nope.
Oh, man. Then just bounces off the 15 of Keith, the 49 of Johnson, into the inside wall.
But it was
and you can also see how little visibility you have when you're in that big pack. You know, you can see the smoke go up, but it's really hard to tell where cars are and what direction they're going because you just all you see is the car in front of you.
That's right. This is hesitation. He got 48, got put out of line, and then just didn't quite make the move to the top fast enough. 49 didn't hit him quite square, and yeah, obviously a couple cars behind him got caught up in it, but yeah, that was a frustrating kind of situation for both the 48 and the 49. From the nose of the 49, let's see what that looked like. Because he can't lift because he's got a bumper full of Al Likens. You can see there's almost enough space and not quite enough space. A wild ride here.
One of the most terrifying rides you can have is just when you know you've lost control of the car, you just have to take your hands off the wheel and hope no one else bounces off of you.
And that 49 just about made it through fairly unscathed. Obviously got put in the wall a little bit, but it wasn't until Israel came down and hit him after that 6 car was sliding that it really hurt the 49. So I don't know if he's got he does have a fast repair left to use, so that is good news. But a lot of drivers don't. So they will be in trouble here, but most of the field I think is pitting.
Yeah, quite a few are making their way down pit road because that happened pretty high up in the running order.
It did.
And we're seeing now a lot of cars stopping, trying to get some more fuel in this thing and trying to stretch it out toward the end.
One driver
Tay McDonald's one of the few cars staying out.
Yeah, one driver content to just do his thing is Tay McDonald. So is Gilbert, who is doing the advanced fuel-saving measure. That's running the apron. I don't know if that actually makes a difference, but I've seen it a lot, and I'm going to assume that it does, or else people wouldn't do it. Not up on my iRacing lore and the tips and tricks of the trade, I guess. Travis Gilbert.
I suppose there's one way to look at it, which is it is a shorter way around. A little bit less fuel that needs to be exerted to get your car to do a lap here at Talladega. On the other hand, how much in the grand scheme of things do you save by running about a lane down below at the same speed as you would the lane above? You know, it might help you a little bit, but especially under caution, can't be too drastic a difference. But we've seen fuel become a big issue at some of these places. It's the 9 of Jeremy Burns. Bit of a longer stop on pit road here. Same with the 40 of Al Likens.
Yeah, he has left his chair. I'm not going to show it on the screen, but I'm not sure what happened to the driver of the 9. As we have the driver cams up on a separate screen up here, and he has disappeared. He's MIA for the moment. There he is. Now he's back. He'll be rolling here shortly, but these things happen.
If it was Martinsville, I was going to say maybe he popped out for a second to grab a hot dog, but not sure what the delicacy is at Talladega.
Beer snake?
Ah, well, maybe not advised to have one of those and then jump behind the wheel of a 2-ton stock car.
I agree. That is not the thing to do. Always drive sober, folks.
Plot twist, you know, we've run 63 laps here of Talladega for this to turn into public service announcement.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Exactly what everyone's tuned in here for tonight.
Who would have thought Talladega was the mecca of the public service announcement? Like you said, this is Trevor Keith riding on board with not the greatest day, running where he started, see where he chooses inside or outside, but he's been caught up in a few things. He ended up getting the really bad side of one of these restarts, where he ended up getting shuffled all the way out to last, pushed down the line and all that, but looks like he'll restart on the bottom here, about 21st, 22nd position in that 15. Tough season for Trevor Keith. He has been fast, shown speed, shown flashes here and there, but just always seems to get caught up in something that's not of his doing. Tay McDonald falls into that category as well. I remember back to Richmond. I think you were actually on the call that night, Alex, where it was like lap 1, turn 4.
Yeah.
That 29 had spun.
Opening lap.
Yeah, spun out of the way, and that's kind of been indicative of his entire season. He gets, 2 steps forward and a few steps back, although he is still second in points, so it's not all bad for the driver of the 29, who is currently second position.
Yeah, that was the one other race I've had the privilege of covering here with you for Racing Revolution, this Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. And, Richmond and Talladega, about as 2 different tracks as you can find in the Cup Series schedule this year. But, both have put on a very entertaining show to this point. We've got about 30 laps when they hit the line to figure out how this one from Talladega is going to end. It has been wild, and it has been chaotic so far, is the 2 words I would use to describe it. Something tells me if Talladega does what Talladega does best, this last third of the race is going to just add to it.
Yeah, it usually doesn't ramp down in intensity at this stage of the race. 30 to go. You've already passed the first 2/3 of this thing. Probably done pitting. Maybe one more stop. Hard to say. Roll into the restart zone. Tay McDonald's on the pedal. The outside lane gets another decent jump for the top 4.
Yeah, really good launch for that opening group. They're going to jump well ahead of the 54 of Gilbert. Tay McDonald going to lead that group. The problem is it's a big jump back to Picklesheimer, so they might run out of momentum on this backstretch unless someone jumps to fill the hole, or if they drop down. There is a big gap between Forget and then the 43 behind them.
Forget thought about making it 3 wide on call. He really tried, and then he just thought last minute, this is not the right thing to do. I agree, as they roll off into 3.
Yeah, maybe a little early still in this run to be trying to force the issue. You've got time. The caution's out deeper in the field.
Parker Johnston. It is Parker Johnston.
Oh,
that 48
boy.
is wadded up I think that right front is no longer attached to that vehicle.
And he's going to get it towed back to pit road. This night has gone from bad to worse for the 48.
Oh, just a big checkup, and that's Keith, like we just mentioned. Lynn's
Oh,
last week's winner. Oh, Loveland
42
involved.
with Sam Taylor, Loveland, so many cars.
Jeremy Burns just squeaked by. Let's watch this from the roof of the 9, who has a little bit of damage, nothing too crazy.
Just a little bit of separation from the field, I think, is actually what saved him in this case.
See cars down below the line there, bumping out of the way. Yeah, big wrecks for a lot of these guys. 48 can't steer, comes down the field. Heads up move by Jeremy, hitting the brakes there.
Yeah, chatter right now sounds like that, much to what we saw. The inside line, bit of an accordion effect checking up, and it just reached a fever point when it got back to the 10 of Fike, the 15 of Trevor Keith, and caused a bit of calamity on behind. So 8th caution of the night. We've had 21 lead changes, though, to balance it out. But had a lot of competitive racing when we've been green, and a couple of big wrecks have taken out some pretty fast cars here tonight.
I will agree with that. A decent rebound so far tonight is Erhardt. He had wrecked, I think, 3, maybe 4 times in the first 20 laps of this race. He's still rolling, all 4 tires on it. Used the fast repair already, and he is currently in. Well, he's pitting now, but he was in about 15th. See if the 41, who was able to win Daytona to open the season last year, he can rekindle some of that superspeedway magic and get it back into victory lane. We'll see.
That we will. The other big question as far as repeat drivers could be concerned, could we see the 11 of Dustin Reinstedel find his way back to the front? He was the guy who inherited the race win when McDonald got DQ'd at Daytona earlier this year. So he is the man who's won so far on the 2.5 mile restrictor plates to this point. If he's going to go 2 for 2, though, I think he's got some work to do in the closing 25 laps.
Yeah, the right rear of that car is a little bit damaged, a little bit dented, a little bit worked in. See it here. Better on the right side. Yeah, that everything behind the number has seen better days, is what I would call it. Bit of separation there where the rear bumper is. That shouldn't impact him a lot, unless he, I think, is the lead car. If he's pushing, that's not a problem.
And that's the weird thing with the draft here at Talladega. You might have a car that's absolutely beat up, but it could still be in good shape to hold on to the draft. Then you get some clean air on the nose, and all of a sudden you fall back like a boat anchor. It's a tricky game to play because you want to go for the win, but you also might not have a car that can step out and make the move. You might just have to try and stay in the draft, push as hard as you can, and try and make some magic happen from there.
I think in that situation, if you know that you're going to be a boat anchor, as soon as you pull out, you just wait until the last possible second, until you're out of the tri-oval. If you lose 1 or 2 spots, it's not the end of the world. But at least you try, at least you can say you did. I wouldn't go out of turn 4 because you'll end up losing 10, 12 spots when, you know, you put out the sails and everyone just drives around you on both sides.
They're coming to the choose here. Looks like Tay McDonald going to stay on that outside, as is the 22 of Travis Gilbert and the 54 of Caleb Gilbert. So a lot of takers in that outside lane to start.
Inside's filling up at the back here.
Yeah, I'm about to say everyone saw everyone go up high early and said, all right, got to dive down low instead.
I wonder how much these drivers are counting cars in front of them, or how much they're just like, I like the yellow line, or the top side seems to be fast. You know, like I always wonder how much research goes into this decision. I haven't run in a league that has the choose rule long enough to really be able to figure out the ins and outs of it. So I am curious on that front.
I have a feeling there's a few, especially up toward the front, who are doing it for the track position or where they might be able to get a run. And, you know, if you're back past 20th, and you're not keeping a close eye on what the leaders did, it might just be whatever the vibes are speaking to you as you make your way toward the start-finish line. It might just be like, all right, well, felt like the last two guys went high, going to duck low and try and get a little bit of room on them.
A magic 8-ball kind of race. What does the magic 8-ball say? High side or low side?
Well, it feels like if there's any race that would be just a magic 8-ball, it would be Talladega. Spits out some very interesting results from time to time because you can never really predict what's going to happen.
Yeah, the another car that I'm pretty surprised is even still rolling right now is the 10 of John Fike. Man, this guy has had an awful night. Other than sponsoring this race, it's one to forget for him. He's spun a few times. That car has seen a lot of issues. The nose got knocked off of it. He's still in 16th now.
He's not out of it yet. You know, he's used his fast repair, but he has worked his way through a good bit of the field again. You know, our sponsor tonight might still have some time to make his way up into that lead pack. We've got just over 25 laps, or it'll be about that much when we take the green flag here. Outside line to great effect over these past couple of restarts, just letting them really control the race because he's getting a really good job.
See the 22 pushing really hard. You can do that on this opening lap when you're still getting up to speed. Oh, we had just about an issue there with the 84 got moved out of line a little bit. That's Hudgens able to keep it straight off the nose of the 27. We keep it moving.
Trying to get up to speed here. That inside line currently led by the 39 of Grant Turner, trying to work their way back up toward the leaders after the 54 went high as well, as did the 89. So Turner trying to rally back that inside group, but easier said than done right now. That middle lane, all the momentum off the restart. They've got 4 clear, about to be 5 if Justice Murphy can get his car off the nose of the 39. But now here comes that inside line. A little bit of a rally back, working their way back up toward 4th.
Yeah, pretty good surge into 3. That's going to cut off the front 3. Going to pull alongside Gilbert in the 54. Further back, working 3 wide again. Erhardt in the middle. Going to make something happen. So is Bresnock.
51 boxed in on all sides right now. He has absolutely nowhere to go. Now it looks like the 43 going to jump up, giving everybody a little bit more room. But you can feel the tension start to rise a little deeper in the field. I think they're starting to realize that they're running out of time to really just kind of hang out and let this race come to them. They're going to have to start going out there and taking some positions for themselves. And that's what we're seeing, a lot of 3 wide back there. Up front, though, it's a little calmer. The desperation starting to kick in a bit for those about 20th on back.
Yeah, we are single file for top 4 or 5, depending on how good the inside line gets the run. Right now it's 4. McDonald, a pair of Gilberts, and a Call would be your top 4. And they are 3 wide in the back, and they're moving. Grant Thorpe has found something. He's found John Fike, in fact. Fike is rolling the top. They're scraping the wall, and they're still making a run down the backstretch.
Yeah, Fike saw that run coming. He jumped up in front of the 77 of Thorpe, and it has gotten him into the top 10 once again for the first time, I think, since about lap 3. That number 10 machine has found his way into the mix. That outside line, especially off of turn 2, gets a really good run. They're also getting a really good run through the tri-oval here as they blast past the 19 of Forget. Now alongside the 12 of Murphy. We're continuing to find some great success up there. John Fike and Grant Thorpe going to try and bring this thing all the way to the front of the field.
I think this next-gen car, more than any other car I've driven, loves the top side. on super speedways, just keeps that momentum going. It's such a draggy car that if you can keep momentum up, keep the RPMs rolling, you can just march to the front as long as you aren't impeded. But if somebody blocks you on the top, you're going to fall back quickly. It stalls momentum out.
Yeah, and that might be what we're seeing here as the 54 of Gilbert tried going up there to get some of that run for himself. It really checked up that outside line. But now they've got that momentum back moving. They've got the hammer down, and the 54 are going to try and take away the lead from Tay McDonald.
We got a bunch of cars under a blanket. 1 second back to 25th. Joe Goya. That's how close this field is. It's absurd how these drivers are always right on top of each other, and I'm surprised we don't see more accidents than we do, but Murphy had to get moved out of line pretty good there on the backstretch.
Everyone bailing out of that middle lane has how checked up it got.
Boy,
the inside line nearly into the apron. Michael Call nearly led the Army off the cliff there going into turn 3.
Yeah, Call did a good job getting out of the way and going all the way below the line to kind of preserve the run of the 39, let him have somewhere to go in the 1 as well. But yeah, we are moving and shaking right now. We got cars all over this racetrack, and no one really knows where they want to be with 20 laps to go.
Now, the only place where you feel comfortable right now is if you're the 54 of Caleb Gilbert.
Oh, we're almost 5
He's
wide.
got the lead. It's getting so checked up there. 4 wide through the corner. They're bouncing off each other just behind this. And the caution's out. The 00, I believe.
98.
Or is that the 98?
Again, yeah.
98.
That's the mistake I made.
George.
00 is running in 8th. The 98 was in that accident. Let's go back and see what happened to McGeorge.
We saw that start from the moment they reached the corner. Everything was getting bottled up.
49 got put in the wall, looks like, and kind of slowed everything up. Oh, Israel again. And then Lancaster's in it.
Might have really just been the 3 of them, though. Maybe a little extra bits of damage here or there. But the big 3 that are going to be the big losers of that wreck. The 98. I'm completely blanking on numbers here. The 6 of Jeff Israel and the
20.
02 or the 20.
Yeah. Yeah, so that all started actually with the teammate, Bresnock. Kind of checked up that outside line, and the 49 had nowhere to go. Checked up the 98 into the 6, into the 20/02. And yeah, that's that crash right there. That's all it was.
We should see if we can take an onboard with the 84 of Devin Hughes. He just barely missed getting caught up in that.
I like where your head's at. This is the 84.
Right behind all this is it's starting to check up towards him. And then everything just kind of comes to a head right there. Talladega has not been kind to the drivers of the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series here tonight.
No, it's made you work for it. That's for sure. You're not going to be gifted a Talladega win. You're going to have to earn it in some way, shape, or form. Everyone's coming down pit road for what I'd imagine would be the last time. This should get you to the end on fuel. Under 20 laps to go.
This is a critical time to make sure you don't miss your box. You don't have a ton of time to make up that lost track position if something goes wrong. Gas and go for basically everybody up front.
McDonald's going to win the race off pit road. Oh, someone did miss. That's Harrison. Missed the box. He still can't find it. It's like parallel parking class out here. I think he got it that time. That will cost him a number of positions. As Jeremy Burns still getting damage repaired on the 9.
Looks like there may have been a bit of contact there with the 45, or a bit of a pinch with him in the 43 when they came down pit road initially. And I think that's why the 45 was so out of sorts trying to get into his box.
Let's go back and have a look. Back another 20 seconds. Let's see what happened here.
I'd say maybe have to get back a little bit farther. Oh, yeah. He was trying to slow up with that car to his inside so he could get down, and just someone else who had already come down pit road and was leaving had places to be.
Yeah, that's one of the more frustrating parts of when you're stuck at the back. You can't seem to work way through the field, and you come down on a pit stop where there's 30 other cars on pit road. It's going to happen where you're pitting in the same time someone's pitting out, and it's just difficult to manage it properly, especially because when you come out, you have to start from the far left side and work right versus the cars pitting in, working from the right to left, and always going to be calamity.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So we're looking up toward the front of the field. A couple of familiar faces in that what could be the front row, depending on what they choose. And then it gets a little more sorted from there. I'm looking back, though, to 5th. That's where my eyes are drawn to. The 10 of John Fike, back in the top 5 for the first time since basically the drop of the green flag here tonight.
Yeah, this is a great rebound for the 10. I think he put his name on this race for a reason. He's got that perseverance that you need here at a track like Talladega, but that 10 is that Fike Take Flight machine. Tongue twister, but it's is a sponsor of this race at Talladega tonight, and he's running in 7th, doing a great job.
That he is. So Tay McDonald will be up alongside Grant Thorpe in that front row. Then you've got Travis Gilbert, Justice Murphy, and Caleb Gilbert. Michael Call, your top 6. We just hinted at Fike in 7th there alongside, I believe, the 19 of Alex Forget. So a lot of familiar faces in that that top 4 rows right now who we've seen up in the front tonight. A lot of comers and goers, but these 8 tend to continue to find their way up to the front of the field.
Yeah, I think these two on the inside, Thorpe and Murphy, are kind of the two that we haven't really seen a lot of tonight, and I'm sure that these other front 8 or so are kind of curious to know what those two have, and maybe shuffle them out, or maybe they'll end up pushing them or helping, them have a good finish tonight.
Yeah, both of them have come from the way back. They both qualified outside the 30th position. I know Murphy was back in like 39th. I think Thorpe was low 30s, but either way,
yeah,
33rd. Yeah, so they've still had to traverse most of the field tonight to get to where they're at now, and have put themselves in position to potentially pick up the win in the Fike Take Flight 250 if they can hold on for a few more laps.
Pace car is going to come down pit road for hopefully the last time tonight. It's into the tri-oval. Really high the inside line is this time. Not sure why they're so far out there. Into the restart zone. There goes the 29 again. He will get that early initial launch. But the inside's a lot more organized than the outside is.
Well, they were until Murphy bails on it and jumps to that outside lane to fill the hole. He's going to leave Thorpe out there by himself. He'll fall back to the bumper of Michael Call, but going to give that outside line time to establish themselves as the leader of this one. That was a business decision that the 12 made right there, and he's going to fly past the 77 on that outside lane. Here comes the 3rd lane with Picklesheimer.
We're 3
and now
wide
Murphy
on the top.
jumps up to block that one.
Yeah, Picklesheimer was not content where he was running. He said, I'm going to the front right now. You guys just watch me. And the 12's on the top. We got 3 wide for the lead at Talladega.
About to get crazy here. 3 wide all the way throughout this field. Thorpe down low, Tay McDonald in the middle, and then you've got Justice Murphy up high. He's now taking the lead. 39th the first now for that 12 machine. But can he hold on to it? The 29 of McDonald surges back to the front here. That 22 of Travis Gilbert absolutely leaning on the rear bumper of the 29 right now.
If you didn't tell me they weren't going 180 miles an hour, I would have thought this was a parade lap. 3 by 3 by 3 all the way through the field, and here comes the 12.
The 12 with a great run down the backstretch. Picklesheimer, a great push for him. Thought about maybe diving down. He's going to almost bait to 12 out of line. But
he turned up.
They're spinning.
Oh, big wreck. That's most of the
the
field.
big one at the front of the field.
That's 10, 15, 20 cars involved. They're still wrecking down the front stretch. Wow. John Fike's involved. See a lot of trucks, or a lot of cars, sorry, without the nose. Israel again is involved in an accident. There's a look at the 6. The 02's involved. Loveland, bad day continues. That all started up at the front with Murphy.
Literally the leaders who spun off of 4, and there was nowhere for the rest of the field to go.
On the instant replay, they're already spinning around here. But yeah, this is out of turn number 2. See Murphy's going to get a big run down the back. Picklesheimer behind him, just glued to that rear bumper. Huge momentum as the middle kind of falls back a little bit. Bobbing and weaving around. But yeah, the middle line falls away, which is actually the best thing for the 29. Will inherit the lead after this, but some aggressive pushes, and 43 goes to the outside. 12 wasn't ready for it. Unfortunately for Likens and the 77 of Thorpe, is Likens just tried to avoid it and went all the way down, didn't realize there was another car there.
Yeah.
Because if we ride on board with the 77, I think you'll find out that he did not realize they were wrecking until it was too late.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, it's a tough break because Picklesheimer and Murphy did so much to work their way to the front of the field for the first time, and then
You're seeing he's
could not get
thinking this is great. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, where'd the 40 come from? A big hit for Likens on the inside wall.
Yeah, and a lot of cars bailing down pit road to avoid the contact. John Fike goes for a ride down pit road and the infield grass, and his car looks relatively all right, but he went for a bit of a wild ride as well. So more pit stops here for more damage repair, and it's going to shuffle up that field something fierce.
Yeah, that took out some good cars here tonight. McDonald's still in it. So is Michael Call. There's your leader. Led 23 of these laps. Call's led 6. Gilbert's led 4. That's your top 3. Forget has also led 3. He's been up here all night. Good run for the 19. Turner has led 2. Bennett is the first car to not lead laps, but he's been up in the top 10 most of the night in the 14. Orlando Jr., we have not talked about him very much at all tonight. He has been kind of all over this field, mired in traffic for most of it. He is in 7th in the 27. Erhardt has been back to front, caught up in seems like every incident we've had. He is in 8th. Nails in 9th, pretty uneventful night for him, led 3 laps. And the Candyman, Holloway, he is in 10th.
Yeah, just behind them, you got Joe Goya, currently scored in the 11th spot. Back behind him, Jacob Sirkovich. Both of those guys up big positions from where they started. Last week's winner, Carter Linz, in 13th. Trevor Keith in 14th, just ahead of the 45 of Tyler Harrison, who was able to make up a lot of ground because of that incident. John Fike back into 16th here. His roller coaster night continues. 17th there, the 43 of Picklesheimer, who was just involved in that previous incident. The 58 of Nicholas Schell, just ahead of the 9 of Jeremy Burns, and rolling in 20th right now, it is the 51 machine of Jake Williams Sr.
Behind him, 24 of Nick Alves in 21st. Justice Murphy, who was the leader, now finds himself in 22nd with the damaged race car. Ryan Stedel in 23rd. Frank Hughes Jr., the 61, 24th position. Al Likens almost missed the wreck, ended up causing a slightly larger one. He is in 25th. Matt Robinson in the 1 is 26th. Justin McGeorge, 27th. Resnock, 28th. The teammates could still work together here. Those cars don't look too badly damaged. Grant Thorpe just leaving pit road. He is in 29th. Christopher Schaefer is 30th.
Then you got Devin Hudgens back here in 31st in the 84 machine. James Loveland in the 02. That car is seeing some better days, back in 32nd. Jeff Israel in 33rd, or Jeff Israel Jr. here currently scored 33rd, just ahead of the 49 of Gerald Johnson. 35th, the 54 machine of Caleb Gilbert, who's been up front so much tonight. Sam Taylor, 36th as they run.
And then there are 4 cars behind the wall. Chad Lancaster in the 02, Parker Johnson in the 48, Kyle Diaz in the 26, and Robert Rader left early. He is 66 laps down in 40th.
Big opportunity here for this inside lane. Bennett, his first time on the front row. Orlando Jr., his first time in the top 4 since the opening go of this race. Somehow Erhardt has found his way back into the mix up front as well. A very damaged Chris Nail 88 also into the mix there. So a lot more action still to be unfolding in the final 11 laps of this race once they hit the stripe.
We're to the point in this race where there aren't many cars without damage. That 29 and the 89 might be the only 2 that have been caught up in something this evening. See, like even Jeremy Burns back there is, six cars back. He was stopped on pit road for 5 minutes at one point in time, and he's still up here in the top 20.
Still anybody's race here. It has been far too tough to tell who's going to be there at the end.
Into the restart zone. Tay McDonald on the top another time. Good launch. I think they're starting to time it up properly. 29 and the 89 going to get together here into turn number 1. Top lane surges ahead.
Yeah, they've had a couple opportunities tonight to work on those restarts, and McDonald going to surge back to the front here. Bennett trying to get something going on that inside line, but they are going to be a couple cars back. Here comes Travis Gilbert to the high side. He's going to try and get around Michael Call. Forget going to go up there with him. Everyone bailing right now on the 89 until you get back, I think, to the 88, but he goes high. Everyone disappearing around Michael Call. Up front, though, you've got a lot of shuffling. Big block from McDonald to keep the 22 and the 14 behind them.
We're 3 wide, a little farther back in the pack. We are 3 wide here at the 7th position, it looks like.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this is dicey. Dooring each other, too.
Michael Call's being a pinball out there. He's clipped about 3 or 4 different cars trying to find his way into a spot in line. A couple other cars bouncing off each other. They're 3 wide behind him. This is just completely checking up this half of the field from the front 5 cars.
They better sort it out, because if that front 5 is doing what they're doing, they might end up driving away here. It's like Forget's got the draft and pull them back. But that was just about danger levels for most of this pack. They could have lost their chance of winning the race with just under 10 laps to go.
Yeah, Tay McDonald's leading Gilbert and Bennett on that low side. The first 8 cars all running that low lane before you get a little more shaking around with Call and Turner back there in 9th and 10th. And then it really fans out outside the top 10, 3 wide, everyone fighting for positions deep in the field. You see Burns making some progress, Harrison, Williams Sr. There's a bunch of cars all fighting for position. Trevor Keith in there as well. Everyone saying it is go time here from 10th on back, and you're starting to see a little bit of that up front again. Here comes Holloway, going to try and lead Michael Call to start this outside lane once again. Only 2 takers right now, but they're looking for a few more.
The top side rolling that momentum. They're doing a great job here in the middle of the racetrack. Big group coming to them. This is going to help that outside lane quite a bit.
Going to restructure that lane, give them some help as they hit the line to make it lap 87 of this 94-lap race, nearing the end. Holloway trying to get that outside lane to work. He's now battling for the edge of the top 5. Will Orlando Jr. make the move? Yes, he will. The 27 and the 22 going to go up there with him. They're bailing on the 29. McDonald goes high to block. Huge block there on the 22. Now here comes Orlando to the inside. Everyone shaking around trying to find that free real estate.
And we're 3 wide for 2nd place now. 21, 22, and 27. Here comes the Candyman.
Holloway has found himself in 2nd. Highest he's run basically all night. They are fanning out 3 wide behind the 2 lead cars here. For their own sake, Holloway might need to glue himself to the back
we're wrecking
bumper
big
of
time.
McDonald. And the caution's out.
61.
Schaefer.
Huge accident.
Oh, and there's more. Hughes sideways. Everyone fanning out to avoid 4 or 5 cars involved in that one.
That was the pace car. Made my heart skip a beat there for a second. I thought someone was going to plow into the 61. Just the pace car.
Everything got stacked up on that outside lane, got pushed down, and
Yeah, Reinstedt got
collected a
turned
whole
off the
host of
nose.
card.
Reinstedt turned off the nose of Israel into the side of the 61. And then obviously collected another probably 10 or so cars. This is
Sam
gonna
Taylor, Sirkovich in there as well.
set us up for a, what, 4-lap dash to the finish, something like that?
Yeah, a unnatural green-white checkered, most likely. Probably hit the, yeah, I think you're right, with about 4 laps probably to the end. So gonna be interesting to see how they settle this one. Heavy damage for the 61. That's, hope he's got his fast repair still. He's gonna need it.
He does not. He has used it already, so that's going to be a tough break for a good running number 61, but we'll find out if he is able to keep it rolling. I think that left rear actually has some pretty heavy toe link damage, so he might be relegated to a meatball flag, what we call it, where you have to come down for service because your car is too dangerous to drive. Unnatural green-white checker. I've never heard that one before.
I'll be honest, my brain thought about, like if you're ever playing a game of D&D and, you roll a nat 20 or you have like something that adds like an 18 plus 2, then you have the unnatural 20. So green-white checkered or the unnatural green-white checkered. Whether it's required by rule or not.
I will take your word for it. But as we pace here, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back here for the end of the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series at Talladega, the FIKE Take Flight 250. Right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Slack.
Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
The field rolls into the restart zone. 5 laps to go here from Talladega. Tough start for the outside lane behind Tay McDonald as they check up quite a bit. Dealer's choice at this point.
Yeah, not too often you see McDonald immediately bail to the bottom side on these restarts. He normally likes to hang in the middle, but that's where he's found the better run, and the 22 has been his best ally tonight.
Oh, the wreck,
29
though!
as everything's getting squirrely. Everything getting sideways. The 29, or sorry, the 27 around and into the inside retaining wall.
Caution, there's no caution yet. We're still rolling. Not sure how that isn't a caution, but Tay McDonald is going to retain this lead. With the 14 behind him, we only got a handful of cars left.
It's going to completely shuffle the cars up front. Everyone trying to regroup now in this lead pack. There's about 12 of them. Tay McDonald's got Bennett and Trevor Keith on his back bumper. The 15 materializing from out of nowhere to become a factor here with 3 laps to go.
And what these drivers got to do is they just got to get in line and chase down that front 3, make a move, and hope for the best.
Trevor Keith going to look to the outside here. He's got Holloway and Harrison with him. McDonald with the block. Completely leaving Bennett out to dry. He'll jump up to the high side. Now people diving low.
Grant Turner trying to make a move.
Turner. Tyler Harrison has somehow worked his way back into 4th here after that late stop where he had issues on pit road.
How about Jeremy Burns? He's a car tagging onto the back of this pack here in 10th position. He's a shot at a good finish here. 3 laps, make that 2 laps to go as we cross the line. McDonald just gave the lead away to Trevor Keith.
29 bails out Trevor Keith, leading Daniel Holloway, Tyler Harrison, and the 14 of Bennett. Christian Schaefer somehow back into the top 5 as well. A completely different running order than we've seen all night.
Nicholas
McDonald
Schell
slots
found his
back in
way
8th.
into the top 10 as well. We have a lot of new players up here, and I don't know what to expect. Hey, McDonald's making moves a little further back with Turner trying to roll the inside lane, coming to the white flag. They're in turn 3. He's going to get all the way to the lead here, it looks like. Is that middle lane really checks up?
No one goes down the block. Everything getting squirrely here. The lead 10 cars, the only ones who have a chance now. They go through the tri-oval. Trevor Keith's got the lead, but he is definitely not in control of this race at the moment. Look at the pressure from the 21 of Holloway.
And this white flag presented by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. Who's going to come back to get the checker? Anyone's guess right now. Trevor Keith, your leader. Tay McDonald on the bottom. Candyman's pushing. Candyman just about turned him. We got the Phantom in 5th place. I have no idea. I don't know what to expect, and I am edge of my seat excited as they roll into turn 3.
Here comes a good run from McDonald. Harrison bails to the inside. The 29 retakes the lead here in 4. As they come down to the final stretch of run here, I can't even speak. Who's it going to be?
Tay McDonald takes the lead. Big blocks behind him. He's got the momentum. Here comes the 15. It's Turner.
Grant Turner, by 0.08 of a second, steals it at the line.
How did Turner do that? Look at there's a look at him right there. We got all sorts of the wrong graphics on the screen. Let's go to the winner. There he is, the 39. Wow. Photo finish. Unbelievable.
Unreal. You can hear almost the disbelief in his voice through the screen. I don't think he realized that he was going to take that until it came across the line and realized he was on the top of the pylon there. Unbelievable stuff from Grant Turner. Came out of nowhere in those closing laps and held on by just a hair. Timed that move perfectly around Tay McDonald.
Yeah, that is
McDonald cannot get his vengeance for Daytona.
incredible stuff, although Tay McDonald will end up with a second-place finish right in front of Trevor Keith. In fact, I think they were all 3 wide. The margin for the top 3, what is that, 24 thousandths of a second is how close that was.
Wow.
Burn him down, Grant Turner. You earned this one.
The smoke show going to begin. And this all started with the incident with 3 laps to go on the backstretch that completely thinned out the field and really only left 10 cars in the hunt for those final 2 laps, and yet there was still about 4 different leaders in those last 2 laps.
Yeah, this was an incredible drive for Grant Turner. We're going to go back and see if we can find a decent shot of the finish. A little further back than this. Let's get onto the photo finish cam when we get there. Here we are.
Yeah, we might want to put that one in a little bit of slow motion.
Yeah, that is a great idea. We will get to that after our commercial break. Yeah, there's the 39. He's so excited he's going to drift it through the corner. Grant Turner won this race here tonight. Good job winning the FIKE Takes Flight 250. But as I mentioned, we will be back after a quick commercial break with your race results and your top 3 finishers. You're watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series live on V-Speed. The FIKE Take Flight 250 here at Talladega. Back in a few.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Swack.
Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here on the replay shot by popular demand. You wanted to see how they crossed the line. Photo finish camera should be here in a matter of seconds. You can see Barney's waving the flag. There they are. There's Grant Turner. Just going to inch ahead of Tay McDonald. Still not at the finish line. I didn't realize how long this front stretch was. That's how close it was for the win right there. 4 wide at the line. Congratulations to Grant Turner once again.
So close. I mean, if you're Tyler Harrison, you're 4th in that picture, and you were still halfway alongside the leader.
That is exactly right. But now it's time to have a look at the final results tonight. Grant Turner with a miraculous, very close win, 0.005 of a second. Tay McDonald, Trevor Keith, Tyler Harrison, and Holloway. I couldn't have picked this name out of a hat, or these top 5 out of a hat. I would have never guessed this top 5 would have finished where they did. Jeremy Burns in 6th, making something out of what was honestly a horrible day for him. Schaefer in 7th. Erhardt in 8th. Shell and Bennett are your top 10.
From there, that's where it spreads out a little bit. Michael Call back in 11th, about 3 seconds behind our leaders, but the leader of this second pack of cars, Nick Alves, finishing in 12th, just ahead of Al Likens and Jeff Israel Jr. in 13th and 14th. Caleb Gilbert was up front most of the day, but he'll bring it home 15th, just ahead of William Sr. Bresnock brings it home in 17th in the 0-0, just ahead of Devin Hudgens. The Thornton Machine, number 77, that'll be 19th, and then Jackson McGeorge in 20th.
In the 21st position was Carter Linz. Side hit, or behind him, was Johnson in 22nd. Loveland finished 23rd tonight, exactly where he started. Robinson 24th. Ryan Stedel up 10 to 25th. Justice Murphy finished in 26th after gaining 13 positions. Kevin Orlando Jr. in 27th, exactly where his car number is. Picklesheimer 28th. Gilbert 29th after running up front for a lot of this race. Forget was the first car 1 lap down in 30th.
And back behind them, John Fike Jr., his roller coaster of the night, will end in the 31st position for the sponsor of tonight's race. Chris Nail, 32nd, just ahead of Joe Goya. Jacob Sturkovich in 34th. Frank Hughes Jr., 35th. Sam Taylor, 36th. Chad Lancaster, 37th, just ahead of Johnston, Diaz, and Rader.
And that is your field here tonight. Early exit, obviously, for the 53. We are going to get down trackside with your grid. And we are going to start off with 3rd place, Trevor Keith. Get him up here in the broadcast booth. Trevor Keith, Morgan, and Alex,
Hey.
you got a copy?
I do.
Well, how about that? What a
Man,
race.
So freaking close, man. I mean, we were right there. Had a huge run at the end, too, to get there. That finish line was about 20 feet further. Man.
Yeah, you for sure were close. We were watching obviously the battle with Tay and Grant when they were dooring each other on the high line, and I looked up and I saw this this bright blue and orange car just shooting down up the middle, down to the bottom, and you just about had it. Yeah, if that start finish line.
I thought I had it when I crossed the line. Man.
Yeah, not quite. You were what's the final margin of victory here? 24 thousandths of a second behind the winner. That's how close
Yep.
it was. That's like a tire. That's
That's insane, dude.
yeah.
What a race. What a finish there with Tay and Grant and Count out Tyler Harrison. He kind of that run put him where he doesn't get to talk to you guys, unfortunately for him. But um, yeah, I gotta shout out Daniel though for those pushes at the end of the race, dude. The teammate Daniel, he was incredible there. Wouldn't have done it without him, to be honest.
Yeah, you guys had a great run and a lot of teamwork here tonight. Yeah, the 21 was all over the back bumper of
Oh
the
yeah,
15, wasn't he? But
he said he had a run on the outside when it was me, Bennett, and Tay by ourselves, and I was like, all right, Daniel, let's do it then. And jumped to the high side and off we went.
yeah, I think
So
the most impressive thing for you is you're finally able to put a race together. Right? This has been,
yeah,
I think, by your standards, probably an awful season to this point. Just not been able to finish races where you've run, and finally
yeah.
you get the reward, you get that podium finish. So how does it feel to kind of get that monkey off your back and get a good one?
Man, it feels good. I mean, I struggled at the beginning of the season. Now the last 3 weeks, I have a fifth, seventh, and third. So we've got some momentum going now. I was a little worried about a super speedway. I have terrible luck here. I almost blew up on lap 3. So didn't have fast spare for the whole race, but to get that finish and to keep the momentum rolling, it's awesome. And I'm excited to go to an actual track where we can actually showcase some talent at Dover. So.
Yeah, I like the way you segued that. Dover next week, the Monster Mile should be a lot of fun. But Trevor, anyone you want to shout out besides your teammate, the Candyman, for this podium finish?
Yeah, we're gonna shout out KSX Racing Graphics on the hood and on the quarter panel back there. Make paid schemes if you guys want one. Hit me up on Discord, Facebook, KSX Racing Graphics, anything. Um, Work with you there. We'll get something together. Obviously, I already shouted out Daniel. I'll shout out all the people watching on my stream. Braden and Zach, they were watching. Zach was watching the Discord or not the Discord, the YouTube as well. And he was pretty pumped up about that. So, and you guys do a great job every week. So
Right,
happy to
well,
come up here and talk to you guys today.
yeah, it's good to hear from you. I was hoping we talked to you at some point throughout this season. And Talladega, who would have thought, eh? And in what
Yeah,
was an absolute photo finish, I'm glad I found the photo finish camera because we used
I
every
was.
bit of it there. That was incredible. Go back and
I'm
watch that one afterwards.
I'm literally on it right now. I
Yeah,
got the photo up.
it's,
So,
yeah, wild
uh,
stuff. Anyway,
what a night.
congratulations, Trevor, and we'll see
Yeah,
you next week at
thanks, man.
Dover.
Yep. See you next week.
All right, that was third place, Trevor Keith.
Yeah, I mean he put together the complete race tonight and was there where it mattered most and was I don't know maybe half a wheel length away from picking up his first victory of the season.
Yeah, there's not much you can really do, right? You did everything right. You just needed a little more racetrack, and that was the case for Trevor Keith. But Alex is caught up with Tay McDonald.
That I have in just a second here. Everything is inverted on my screen for some reason as far as where all the booth chats are. But yeah, here with Tay McDonald, our second place finisher. Tay, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
It's going all right. Gonna ask you the same question. You were up front most of the night and in the hunt when it mattered most. Talk us through those last couple laps running to the line.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to thank Travis Gilbert and apologize to him. We're working really well together there, and both went to go high, and it was just kind of a mistiming thing. And I know it caught some people up, and that there wasn't a caution, but it caught some people up. So I apologize for that. It was just a mistiming thing, but yeah. The last couple laps, I had Trevor Keith on the outside. I went up there to kind of control that lane, and I was in good position there, and then got kind of hung out for a second, and Grant Turner picked me up and gave me an awesome push. So I can't thank him enough and congratulate him on an awesome finish. So yeah, it was an awesome finish. I'm upset with second, but when it was that close, there's not really that much to be upset about. Nothing else I could do. So again, congrats to Grant, and I apologize to Travis and everybody else. So I screwed that one up.
Well, it was a bit of a heavy bit of contact there in the closing couple laps, but you were able to keep it forward. And, you led 33 laps here tonight. One of the more dominant cars. It's not easy to put together that many laps led at a place like Talladega where there can be so much fluctuation up front. Were you doing anything in particular to let you hold on to the lead for that long, or were you just kind of in the right place at the right time?
Honestly, again, Travis he was committed to my bumper, and again, can't thank him enough for pushing me. And then I ended up, kind of wetting the bed there and ruining his finish. So just teamwork with Travis, and he kind of just held on there at the end after I screwed the boot.
Well, I can hear that while you did get a pretty decent finish here tonight, I can tell that it was not necessarily the way you wanted it to shake out. So I won't try and trap you in the booth for too much longer. I just want to ask you, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out while we've got you up here?
Thank all the league sponsors: Chapman Environmental Services, Buttkicker, All About Bugs, Coastal Financial. I know there's more. Want to thank my teammates at Racing for Freedom: Kyle Diaz, Travis Gilbert, Devin Hudgens, and I want to thank you guys at V Speed for putting on this broadcast for us. Just thank the guys in the league for putting on awesome competition every Wednesday.
Alrighty. Well, congratulations on the podium finish nonetheless there, Tay. And we'll see you next week at Dover.
Alrighty. Thank you.
That was the driver of the 29.
Now we're going to move up
Tay McDonald
to the top step of the podium and talk to an elated Grant Turner. Get him up here in the booth. Grant Turner, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, how'd you time that so well to come across the finish line 0.005 seconds ahead of Tay McDonald? How'd you do it? How'd you know? How'd you do it?
Super speedways are my specialty. Even though I use this road wheel, super speedways have been my specialty for a while now. So knowing, when to jump out of line like I did, it's a balancing act the whole entire time. You gotta hope you have enough speed, and you have to hope that no one pushes the car you just left behind.
Yeah, that about sums it up. That's how you do it. That's how you make the pass. But you were the pusher on Tay for most of that last lap, and just really were able to set it up in a way that you got him at the perfect time. I think something to do with Trevor Keith as well, ducking to the inside probably helped your roll a little bit. But you were up at the front, up in the top 10 for a majority of this race. How hard was it to pass out there tonight?
With how things were going, it was a toss up for every move you made, even if it was just to stay in your line. I think the farthest I went back was like 25th, and that was just because I stayed on the inside lane when everyone was using the outside. So it was really just trying to get through all of everything, really.
Yeah, and you started up in the top 8 for most of this race, like I had mentioned earlier. So you had a good shot at the inside versus outside. It seemed like the outside was the predominant lane tonight on the restarts. Can you think of a reason for that why the outside was so much better, especially after turn 2?
Well, being a super speedway with this gen of car, it's all about momentum. The outside lane for a lot of tracks, it's you're able to keep your momentum up more on the outside lanes. And with the pushing, how you need 3 cars for it, it helps out having all the momentum you can have.
Yeah, well said. Well said for the driver of the 39, Grant Turner. Who do you want to thank for this? I'm going to call it miraculous. I know you probably don't feel that way, but I mean, that's as close to a photo finish as I've ever seen here at Talladega. Who do you want to shout out and thank for this win tonight?
I do want to thank, first off, you guys for putting on this broadcast. Amazing as always. All the sponsors of the league, as well as my team Land and Sea e-racing, being the second race, being part of their team, giving them a win is really a nice little touch. I do want to also thank Splash and Go Graphics for my livery. Did an amazing job on that. And only want to thank both Thrustmaster for their devices and Gamer Subs for helping giving me the energy to do these races.
Right on. A lot of sponsors there on the 39. You keep running like that, you'll have many more. Congratulations, Grant. And yeah, just congratulations on winning tonight in what was the closest finish I have ever seen. I think we might have ever seen on V-Speed, period, at any racetrack. So congratulations on that. But we're going to drop you back down the waiting room and see you next week.
Have a good one. See you at Dover.
Yep, see you there. That was your winner, Grant Turner. And with all that being said, we look ahead to next week. Schedules on your screen. Dover, 1 week from today, May the 1st. 1 mile Monster Mile up in Delaware. Should be a lot of fun. And don't forget to join us next week at Dover. Like I said, Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series goes live 8:30 p.m. Eastern on V-Speed. We bring you flag-to-flag coverage all season long. And if you enjoyed tonight's race, be sure to like and subscribe. You never miss a single race. We have more and more content throughout the week. If you're still wanting more, the Overtake iRacing League, it should be live right now. But for everyone at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Bradley Cooper, and my co-commentator Alex Gagnon, I've been Morgan Cook. Have a great evening. Thank you, and good night.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.